Hello everyone, this is King Vector 11. I am very sorry for updating you guys or even mentioning any video in regards to a new game-breaking bug in GTA Online. But when I first heard about it, my first instant reaction was not pleasant. It was 2 in the morning and I've just heard about it for the first time and I was tired and I still decided I want to go to sleep, and I was just on Thursday morning when, of course, Thursday is when I work on my weekly updates for GTA Online. So I'm only able to make this video as early as I possibly could now for you guys to see that in all the story possible that I'm going to show you guys, according to Rockstar and a few other valuable members of the GTA Online community, like Gilly Master, The Professional, so on and so forth, according to them, this bug has been quote-unquote fixed. But I'm going to show you guys, and I'm going to explain to you in detail what this bug was really about. So I'm showing this video when I asked my friend to do this on PC, or rather new gen, but he did on PC anyways. I don't know, this is the footage on PC. But generally, from what I've known, this bug was not really in place on PC, but did it affect new gen console players? Because when he tested it on PC, everything was fine. When I tested on PC, some things were fine, but some things were not. And I'll show you guys my perspective of how I tested this bug and spent millions of dollars on testing in this game. So anyways, without further ado, I'm just going to show you this footage right over. That's loud. That's loud. Yeah, that's true, because my headset was on max volume. Oops. This is his footage. Yeah, he got a Discord notification in his, yeah. I'm just gonna maybe zoom it out a little bit. There we go. Okay. This is through YouTube, by the way. So anyways, he goes into his bunker with his personal vehicle that you saw in his map right over here. There's his personal vehicle that he had. So he went into his bunker, and basically the bug was like this. If you modified anything with your MOC, your Mobile Operations Center, in your bunker, that automatically your personal vehicle would be deleted from the face of the earth, never to be seen again. So basically, when I told him to do the steps, he went up to his MOC mechanic,
I understand the time's coming when you're gonna need a hell of a lot more than a bug out bag. This review's got you covered. And if you ever change your plans, swing by.
And there you go. He modified the color. Okay, and then he left. So he went outside his bunker with a security upgrade. I'm surprised people still buy security upgrades nowadays, but still. Anyways, he went outside. His car was still active and drivable. So then I told him, okay, if your vehicle outside your bunker is still exists, drive it into your bunker and try testing out the bug then. So he drove his car into the bunker, like some people have even tested. Even it works for both ways either way, so maybe that didn't work for PC for one part, but still. So anyways, he modified exactly what? Yeah, he modified the color first, put it back. That guy was like, damn it, why'd you put it back to normal? But anyways, so he modified the color at least. Yeah, he modified the armor. Yeah, he did a bit of modifications for his MOC, as you could see. He did a lot of enhancements and other stuff. Take his time. But anyways, he modified a lot for his MOC. So then he went back to his personal vehicle. He was still able to drive it like everyone typically would be able to, but then this moment is what shocked me the most. This is on PC, by the way. That was recorded. And what happened was he was still able to drive his vehicle. And yeah, he got pop-up text, and yeah, the car still exists on PC at least. So my intention was that this bug only existed for new gen console players. So now I'm gonna show my perspective and my footage, at least as most detail as I could out of the 40 minutes that I recorded directly through OBS. I'll show you as important details as I possibly could from my perspective. Which, before I get to my perspective, I like to say thank you, Sid, for giving me the best footage you possibly could out of testing out this bug with your personal vehicle that is only a cool vehicle, cheap in the game, but still pretty cool. So anyways, now let's go to my footage. So for this first part, I have clipped through NVIDIA OBS that I almost forgot to mention. So I clipped this first part from NVIDIA OBS with Alt F10 with the game overlay. So what I did before I tested this bug out, I was running around and I found just a random person, like not a random personal vehicle, a random vehicle on the street. And what I did was I drove it all the way to some random garage. I was thinking about what I should buy as like my own personal vehicle, and I was looking what's the cheapest that could possibly work. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna buy a Mustang, but then I canceled because I forgot what garage that corner was called. So I decided to go all the way driving to that place, yada yada yada, that person's name might be friends, whatever, so on. So oh yeah, I flipped. No one has to pay attention to this, okay? So I jumped a Porsche and that happened. Anyways, moving on. So I went to this garage and I've put in this street vehicle in this garage. By the way, this was also another street vehicle that I found off the street that I was able to store, and this was on sale last week and I decided finally to purchase it, even though this vehicle triggers me because the license plate on the rear is like 50 times wider than any traditional license plate on any other vehicle in the game. So that's why I just am too lazy to drive this thing. It might be fast, it might be worth like the OGs of OMG, this is like the best vehicle that's like the most memorable in terms of memorabilia, but I still don't like the license plate on the rear. It's so wide, it's like wide. I don't know why Rockstar decided to do that, but anyways, so this was a personal vehicle. Mind you, this is not insured because you just stole it from the street and you store it in your garage, so it's not insured automatically but you have the tracker in your car now. So that's the little bit of $100 of, you know, saved goods, just because. That's something you can do. So anyways, so then I decided to become a mechanic, and I was looking at which garage this was called, since I only have 3 vehicles in here right now. And I was looking through, and then I finally came across Unit 2 Poplar Street. That's the garage that was called. And I saw that this was the one that had my adder, some random street vehicle of a Sentinel XS, and the random street vehicle that I just added right now, the Stainer. So this is my setup. This is, by the way, just to remind you, this is me setting up before I tested out this bug. So what I did was I realized that was the garage that I had it. So I decided to find the Vapid Dominator again, and I purchased it for this garage. And I get a phone call.
Hey, it's me, Bryony, from Arena War. You've got yourself a nice vehicle there. But take it over to Sasha in the Arena Workshop, and he can upgrade it into an Arena Contender. We want to see you competing. Views are everything, okay? Alan told me to tell you that.
Thanks, Bryony. I don't care. Anyways, so further on with testing. Now I go back into my garage to show you guys over here. Like, somewhere here, yeah? Okay. The car came in. So this was purchased, and because if you purchase a vehicle from a website, this automatically becomes insured. So I decided to test it out between insured vehicle, between both 2 cabs of the MOC, the hauler custom and the other custom truck, whatever. And this was the non-insured. But then I was like, you know what? Maybe because this vehicle is cheap and this is just non-insured, so I decided to maybe like skip over this because it was going to probably cost me a lot of money, I think. I don't know. Maybe I went through it, maybe I didn't. But still, so I decided to purchase the Mustang, and I drove all the way to the MOC with, okay, as much, you know, as fast as I possibly could, and yeah, that's true, I'm skipping through like quite a bit of time, so I'm just going to use this anyways. So, okay, here it is, the windows. I modified the windows. Whenever I'll modify it, I know I'm as slow as the other person, but still. Anyway, so I modified the windows of the MOC, the cab at least. So I decided to go out from the bunker, which is where the bug would take place, and it would be like, oh yeah, now that you modify something on your MOC and you leave the bunker, your vehicle's supposed to be gone, right? And yeah, I didn't buy my security upgrade because, you know, I didn't bother with it ever before. So then I went out and my car was still there. This is, mind you, the insured vehicle of the test that I decided to do. So afterwards, I decided to drive it into the bunker. I walked up to my MOC, modified the window, as you can just see in these 10 seconds over here. So I decided to modify the windows. It's a limo, so I modified the MOC right here. Everything was normal for me. I had all of my upgrades already maxed out for this truck. So I did that. I went back to my Mustang that I purchased. Everyone got desynced or something. I don't know why. Maybe everyone left, or maybe I just got desynced. I don't know. Still. Moving on from that. I still had my vehicle, which I found pretty interesting. And so I decided to think. So maybe I was thinking at this point right now during these tests, I was like, oh yeah, I went to the truck. Okay, so between the Phantom Custom and the Hauler Custom. So I was like, maybe because of the Phantom Custom, because I wasn't thinking about this when I did these tests. Because when I saw the video specifically from TGG and Gilly Master, those two videos that popped up in my recommended feeds, one after the other, especially on Discord, which was those two vehicles were recommended to be viewed. So I didn't think about the truck. So I decided, you know what? If this doesn't work for the MOC for the Phantom Custom, what if I used it for the Hauler Custom? So I decided to buy this truck for 1.4 million with the primary color being white. Somehow. I don't know. But still. So now they said that my renovated mobile operation center is now available. This was the interesting part of this bug. For the MOC at least. For me at least, I don't know if it happened for anyone else, but definitely for me. When I went into my bunker and I walked to the corner, like just right here, my MOC was not there. When I modified it to the flat nose truck. I'm just going to call it the flat nose or the long nose truck from now on, because they both confuse me, the Phantom and the Hauler Custom. I'm not going to call them the names. They're just long nose or flat nose. Just understand that, okay? So this MOC did not appear. So I was like, maybe if I run back a bit and I ran forward. So heck. So I'm just gonna put my DPS all the way very low, okay? So I decided to go to the guy. There was no option available for me to modify anything. I'm just gonna skip through this, otherwise I'm gonna make a very, very long recording. So I decided to go out. I called in my MOC, which spawned some distance away from me, and look at the truck still being black, like I have modified it. So that was also another thing that I didn't pay too much attention at, since it was only like 4 in the morning when I did this recording. So my truck was still in its customized color, which, by the way, for most people, when they experience this bug, the first symptom of this bug was no matter what upgrades or whatever you did, even if you remodified it, it would always revert back to stock. But on PC it didn't. At least for me, at least when I did that. So I called it back to the MOC, and there you go. I showed it, and the truck is black still when I modified it to black, because, I don't know, I just love it. Black and dark red mix. It just looks so amazing. So I brought it back to my MOC. I walked back into my bunker, and my MOC was there again, which was a pretty big shocker. So I decided to modify it, and I realized all of my modifications from my previous truck had been completely reset, which is probably what happens when you buy a new truck, maybe, I have no idea. So I decided to look all through these upgrades that existed, but I was like, you know what, these windows, because you instead anyways to modify anything you possibly could to basically trigger the bug, per se. So I decided to get that truck in place. I modified the windows, and then I left the bunker. And here's the result. My car still exists. Hallelujah. I wouldn't even be surprised if some other vehicles somewhere in some other garage started getting deleted when this was happening. I would have been shocked. But still. So I decided to drive the car in to the bunker, modified it again, some piece of it. Yeah, all my modifications were completely undone. So that happens, and I decided to modify the windows. Went back to my Mustang, because Mustang is amazing. Maybe that's why. Maybe the Mustang's too amazing. That's why it just won't be gone. It won't just be gone from like the face of the earth. So I decided to drive back out of my bunker again, and here's the result. My car is still drivable. I can still have it. So I was like, what? I'm confused. At that point I was confused. I was like, why is it that happening? So I decided finally, because the professional on his own video, he purchased the BF server custom, so I did not have the trade price because I've never done the first dose or last dose missions ever. I haven't even done any new content in this game since the Tuners DLC. Anything. Not even the agency. So I bought this vehicle like the professional did on his thing, and his vehicle despawned. So I waited. I don't know if I called it in. No, I paused. Okay. Oh yeah, that's because, okay, that's why I paused and unpaused. That's because I drove all the way back into town, took out that surfer vehicle, drove it all the way back to the bunker, and then I went back into the bunker. I forgot to show that detail. That's true, I forgot. At least I think I did. But anyways, at least I think I'm aware I did. So I modified, at least, let me just show the windows in case someone might think I'm BSing or something. Here you go, the limo windows again. So then I went back outside, and my vehicle was still there. So I decided to take this vehicle, drive it into the bunker, modified the color of the truck at least to like how everyone's saying, like, oh, it's a stock, I guess, maybe. Not really, I don't know if it's like too stock, but still. I modified the color of the truck at least. So I was like, I'm having doubts. But still, I went forward with it anyways. So I decided to drive the vehicle out of the bunker. And little did I know, I still had it. Yeah, I did so many tests with it. So I'm already getting poor. Like, pretty damn poor. But still, I almost confused which mouse it was. So then I called it back in, and then I went through to the bunker, and... Wait, where did my personal vehicle go? Oh yeah. I called it back to my garage, then I called it back in through the interaction menu. Let me just show that little brief moment. There you go. I requested it. There you go. There's that little moment of, well, not going to the website. So I left it. Vehicles, returned to personal storage, and I requested it again. So wherever the vehicle would spawn now, at least that's what I would think would trigger the bug as well, since it was just like a random vehicle that just exists and it's not really yours until it's yours, which, I don't know, game confusion, because I don't know how Rockstar coding works, but let's just say it's completely messy. In terms of confusion, copy paste by protocol, BS. So my car was there. I went back into my bunker. I walked back to my MOC.
Hey, boss.
Went back to the dude to modify it. Maybe I thought, oh yeah, at that point I thought maybe if I entered the truck and tried modifying from there, maybe it would trigger the bug, but there was no option to customize the truck from being inside the truck. So I was like, darn, so I guess that wouldn't trigger it. So I decided to go with modifying the color to something random that I normally wouldn't keep or modify, but still, it's a modification. As the bug says, as long as you modify anything to anything on your MOC and try to leave in the bunker, your vehicle will despawn. That's what the bug was. So at this point I was getting a little bored, so I started wiggling my mouse a bit, but still, we already ran through 15 minutes worth of footage. But little do we know, my vehicle still exists. And don't worry, I'm planning on selling this thing, because I doubt I would want to keep that. So anyways, I finally went to the website again. Oh yeah, because I decided to modify the truck, I believe. Yeah, I went back to the Phantom Custom, which was my favorite, you know, cab of the MOC to use, and I modified it again, wasting another $1 million. So, here's the interesting part. Remember when I modified it to the flat nose truck, and the MOC did not spawn on time or at all? So now that I modified it back to the long nose truck and went into my bunker, I would like to show you a little bit of detail that has happened. My MOC suddenly just spawns like that. So I'm thinking there was a bug revolved around the flat nose truck more than the long nose, but regardless, there was still a bug with the MOC, which was cool to know. So then I went back to this and I realized all my modifications were completely undone, which I was thinking to myself because it was like 4 in the morning. I was just like, has my modifications been the same, or did I not like do anything with modifying the truck at all? But I was like, you know, I'm too tired to deal with that right now. So because I was still testing, and then I was gonna make a video on this in the future anyways. So there you go, all my modifications were undone after rebuying the truck. And so I modified I believe I modified the windows already, and I was looking at the modifications, but still, yay guns. Oh yeah, I modified the color. There you go. I was re-modifying it over and over again, thinking maybe if I did it enough it might trigger the bug. So I finally went back out of my bunker, slowly but surely. And my vehicle was still there. So at this point I was like, should I give up or should I just keep testing? So regardless though, my vehicle was still there. I called it back into the garage and I changed it. Yeah, did I change it again? I think I changed it again. Yeah, I went back to this truck, spent another $1 million. My goodness, I'm making myself more bank. Oh yeah, there was a car accident that happened there, but I didn't really care too much about it, besides just looking at it and walking away from it regardless. So there was that. Went back into my bunker and realized because I modified it to my flat nose, or rather to a flat nose truck, the MOC did not appear again. It's like something is wrong with the flat nose that just prevents the MOC from spawning like immediately. So I was like, you know what, maybe if I just turn around again and just like head back, I guess. So I looked backwards. I was like, you know what, maybe it's not gonna spawn. So I decided to walk out of the bunker, thinking that if I didn't really, I don't know if I call it back out, not sure. I was thinking to myself, I was like, what should I do? So yeah, I think I went back into the bunker. So I was like, you know what, maybe I'll test it out. Maybe if I walk back in without having to call it out and call it back to my bunker, it would reappear. So I was like, you know what, let's just go back without, regardless. So I went back to my bunker. I went back to that corner and realized, looking from the angle, my MOC did not appear. By the way, I never even sold those excess weapon parts ever to ammunition. But yeah, I realized it was not spawning. I requested personal vehicle again, which ended up being the truth vehicle. Yeah, right over there. You can see it, just there it is. There it is. Do you see it now? Okay, there he is, right there. Perfect. Oh yeah, I even enter it. Do you see it now? Ooh, look, lightning. Anyways, that's probably the weather that I've been having for the past while now. So I drove it back into the bunker. I swear I'm doing so many tests on these. This might drive you guys nuts, but I literally did testing for you guys. I took a major L for the team. Or at least I tried to take an attempted L for the team that no one would have the motivation to do. And this is me with $20 million compared to everyone else with their $100 million plus that they are worried about losing a single cent from. And I'm just here like, I have $20 million. Let's just do some tests. What did I do here? Oh yeah, I tried looking in my the services to see if maybe if I press some options, but you cannot call it in when you're in a bunker, and you cannot really say that you try calling it back into your bunker because it's not even there in the first place. So it thinks it's there, but it isn't, which I found was really weird. I tried maybe having the option to modify regardless, maybe it might appear out of thin air, but it didn't. I didn't have any option to modify anything. So in the first person, maybe I was able to modify from there, but I still didn't get any option. So there was that. So I was walking and walking. And I, yeah, walked out of the bunker. Okay. I called in the Mobile Operations Center. See, it's in the map. Right there. Again. Just like in this corner. Right over here. Right over here. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's true. I think I took a run for it. To like bring it, the whole truck. Oh yeah, that's when I was like... that's when I was like, oh yeah, where's my personal vehicle? It says it's like somewhere around the map, somewhere in this direction, but I don't know where. That's true, I did my own test for that. Oh yeah, I realized that my personal vehicle was right over here. I didn't see it at first because it was like 4 in the morning, but now I finally found it. And I was just like, why is my vehicle doing all the way there? But still, regardless though of what happened, I went into my MOC, the flat nose. I drove it all the way back to the bunker. And I brought the MOC by hand back to the bunker. And I see this whole cinematic, the truck stops, and I get this weird leave MOC cinematic thing, but it just drops from thin air, and my camera just doesn't know where it wants to go and just flies to the back of the truck, and yeah. So, that happened. Anyway, I'm gonna explain like the very shortest details possible at the end, but this is like just the most important. I just want to show you guys. So anyways, I modified the trailer this time. And I decided to, well, of course, look at the back. I see the plate has changed. There's my personal vehicle. And I'm like, what? But it says my personal vehicle is like all the way in like some corner of Bufu. I don't know. So there's my personal vehicle right over here. But if I go into the hour map and I look here, I'm like, my personal vehicle is there. So that just tells me something where there's actually a fun fact. No matter what bunker you buy in GTA Online, you will easily be able to locate where the bunker's actual set location is if you throw your personal vehicle in it, which is all the way down by the docks. Which I found was pretty epic, question mark, though I don't know. But still. Anyways. And then I look back in the map with my personal vehicle, and I look in this corner, my personal vehicle is not there. So I'm like, great. Okay, so I parked my personal vehicle right here. I went into the bunker. Again, my personal vehicle is parked outside. Yep, right over there, as you can see. There it is, the proper location of where the personal vehicle is supposed to be located. I swear I did so many tests for these. Oof. I know this is a lot of explaining, even now I'm going like, what the heck? So, I modified the windows, and I possibly modified the color as well. Yep, there you go. Even he's like, damn it. So, I didn't modify the livery, because I don't buy liveries for these things. So, I went back outside, yet again, after modifying the MOC. And my personal vehicle is still there. I swear, at this point, I would not be surprised if so many other personal vehicles that I've got deleted, and this was just the one that was like, hi, I'm not gonna get deleted. Like it was backwards bugged or something. So I drove the vehicle back into the bunker, looked at the location that my personal vehicle is at, which is over there, surprisingly, yet again. Did I modify the thing again? I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I just decided, you know what, I'm just going to do a bit of testing with that thing. I don't know, maybe. I'm just running back and forth. Let me just... So I drove out of the bunker with the vehicle, and I hit the reverse and went back to the bunker. Sweet. We're already halfway through, so bear with me, guys. Bear with me. I promise I'll be through it the fastest I possibly could. What did I do here? Okay, what did I do here? I was in my personal vehicle. So my personal vehicle is still like across the map, wherever it was. Maybe if I enter through a random door. I think. Nope. I just went back. Oh, what am I doing at 4 in the morning, man? So there you go. I went back to him. I went to some random modification. I modified the vehicle, like, so much. Yep. Horns. Modified the lights. Modified so much more. Modified it back to Matte Black, which is cool. Matte Black frame. I didn't really think was the best, so I decided, you know what, let's go with dark red, because yes. And I did so many more modifications for the next couple of moments. And after modifying it, I walked out of the bunker just on foot. Maybe my vehicle would be gone completely. But to my surprise, my personal vehicle was still on the map, with the usual location of everyone's bunker. So maybe at this point, I was like, oh yeah, I stole some random street vehicle. Okay, that's what I did. Yeah, I stole a random street vehicle. I went to the location of where the personal vehicle was located, but my personal vehicle was located somewhere like in between these pillars or blocks of concrete whatnots that you want to call, and it was not there. So I decided maybe this is where the bug can take place, right? So after driving around a little bit aimlessly and thinking if I spammed F over the location of the personal vehicle, I might be able to get in. But of course there was no vehicle in sight. So it was not possible for me to do such a thing. So what I did, at least I believe what I did. There you go. Vehicles. I returned the vehicle to personal storage and I was able to request it. So I was like, okay, so let's request it. So I went back into this vehicle just in case something nasty would happen. But hey, guess what? The vehicle's back there again. And after trying to endlessly test this out over and over again, my vehicle was still there. There was my MOC that was still modified with the color that I put it to. That when I called it out, it was still there. I even went to my terabyte because some thought that, oh yeah, the bug takes place with the terabyte as well, that it like goes back to stock. So I went to my terabyte. My terabyte was still the usual color as it always was. So I called my MOC back again in town. I was like, here's my MOC, that when I called it in, it was completely the way it looks, as it usually does. So I brought in my Mustang into the back of the truck. And I just looked at the modifications but didn't really modify anything. And at this point you might be wondering, why am I not doing any tests with the non-insured street vehicle that I stole earlier in the video? Well, I'll tell you one thing. What I personally believed at that time, yeah, I hit the floor again with the truck, great. What I personally believe was if the bug did not take place on PC with a personal vehicle that you bought from the website, then what would be the point of this bug being, you know, so important with a street vehicle that you just randomly stole, right? So there's my camera being stupid again. But anyways. Oh yeah, and mind you, I kept the personal vehicle in the back of the truck in the trailer. So I decided, you know what, let's go into the back of the trailer. I looked around and my vehicle wasn't there. I was like, ooh, maybe the bug is taking place finally. So let's leave the trailer and let's try to look back and look around. Oh, my vehicle is actually there the whole time. Somehow. Okay. So I entered the personal vehicle. I tried bringing the personal vehicle as fast as I could. Possible, even though it's speed locked. So I put it into the trailer. And I left the vehicle. And I left the trailer. So there's the trailer. I go back in the trailer to see if my vehicle is there, but it's not. And that's probably when I realized, you know, maybe it's because it's not a personal vehicle storage, it's just a vehicle workshop. So I was like, you know what, let's just, oh, my car is there. Okay. So after pointlessly running around, tired as heck, at that point I was thinking every video that I was watching at that moment, everyone had the security upgrade. So I thought, you know what if we did this with the security upgrade? So I applied SSU instantly when you sit on the chair, which I'm surprised for the bunker is not bugged, but for the nightclub is, which I will show you a bug on that later on, because yes, there are so many bugs. So I was looking, I was like, okay, so I have this purchased, I have that purchased, security upgrade, which I see everyone have. So I was like, there you go, I purchased a security upgrade. Like everyone has. I don't know why you guys buy the security upgrade. It's pointless, but still. So I'm like, yay, security upgrade. Now my door is red. Because there's 2 doors now. Yay. But anyways, so I decided, yet again, now that I have the security upgrade, I went back to this guy. I modified my truck. With the windows.
Think I'm in love.
And I went back to my personal vehicle. And my vehicle was still drivable. I was like, yay, I still have it, but now it doesn't really prove anything because the bug doesn't work on PC. So I tried calling it back to garage and I called it back in, thinking maybe that's when a bug would take place. But no, it didn't. So I was like, you know what, let's just go back into the MOC, or back into the bunker to the MOC. And I went to this guy again. At this part of the video, I was like, okay, now I can modify it. So I'm back to here. So on and so forth. So I left after I modified a bit here and there. So then I went, you know, back and forth. My goodness, what am I doing? Okay. So I walked back. There you go. I walked back outside. There we go. And my personal vehicle was still there. Yeah, it was still there. So I decided to go back into my bunker again with this personal vehicle, thinking it might work this time. It might work this time. I was still testing. I was testing this for so long. I was like, this will work this time. I know this video might be getting long and tedious, but I did tests, I swear. So I modified the windows again.
Now the shit can hit the fan anytime it likes, huh?
Nice. Anyways, so I went back to my personal vehicle, right over there, and I drove it out of the bunker. And guess what? Loading screen simulator. And my vehicle still exists. Oh my goodness, I'm so poor now. I am not used to seeing myself less than 10 million. But yet again, I decided to go into Warstock. Mobile Operations Center. There's the cab. There's my usual truck that I would usually use. Always. Interior color, primary color white. And I bought it yet again. I spent so much money doing these tests, man. I swear I'm poor as heck. So I went back into my bunker after modifying it to my usual truck. And I looked in the corner. I was like, wait, my MOC is not available now. And I was like, if I go into MOC, I cannot return to storage because the things it's there. But then I looked on the minimap. I was like, wait, the icon appeared. And then guess what? Yeah, it actually did appear. And I was like, well, that took a while. But still, it's back. So I customized everything back to the way it was as best as I could with the usual, you know, stuff and so on. Of course, I'm not gonna put this truck, you know, Need for Speed Most Wanted plate. Yeah, so on and so forth. Lots of modifying at this point. So after I finished modifying everything that I liked about it, literally, yeah, I kept the plate like it was, the respray on the trailers the way it is, and so on. So after finished modifying it yet again, I went to my personal vehicle and left the bunker. And, of course, this happened. Yeah, I know, this is the usual. My vehicle still exists. I know. I swear these tests, man. So finally, I went back into my bunker, thinking maybe it might trigger this time. So I went back with my personal vehicle, walked back to the Mobile Operations Center cab, looked at it, was like, you know what? I think I'm done testing for now. And I walked back to my personal vehicle. Or maybe at that point I was thinking, will it actually not spawn again, or will it like take its time to spawn or something? So I looked and I was like, yeah, it spawned. So I finally went back outside with my personal vehicle. and I still had it. Yeah. All that testing just to realize the bug was not in place on PC. Or maybe it was, but I was not informed until that point, because I think it was like 4 in the morning, which was like hours before it was mentioned, like some 10 hours beforehand, like some point in time. Yeah, because it makes sense in my language. That the bug was fixed. So I was like, huh. So let's see how much money I wasted, shall we? So at the beginning of these tests, I was at 14,771,017, which I will put on the top of over here. And then by the end of the tests, I ended up having remaining 7,901,532. I forgot how I went to 14 mil. I thought I was at 21 mil. Maybe because before these tests. Maybe because I actually don't remember what I bought before these tests. And no, I didn't buy the new jet. That just makes the other 2 jets look very inferior. I did not buy an Avenger. I didn't buy... Maybe Rockstar just stole like $7 million from my bank account because they're like, oh, you're too good, so let's just take your money or something. I have no idea. I completely forgot. But still. But yeah, I can assure you I was at $21 million at some point in time. But then sometime later I ended up going to 16 mil. I have no idea. But it's still, that's besides the point. The real point is, I ended up leaving with 7,901,532, so I'm going to mark this down right over here. So generally, my expenses for these tests, I literally spent almost $7 million on remodifying my MOC cab between both long nose and short nose, bought the security upgrade, bought a Mustang, I bought the Truth, whatever that, 20-year-old cooking old Kirby vehicle is, from the Drug Wars DLC that costed $400,000 on its own, or maybe $500,000, I don't remember, but still, yeah, I spent almost $7 million just to prove to you guys 2 things. Where, first of all, here is my main truck, right over here. Okay, this was my long nose that I had. But then, after modifying it to the flat nose, literally, for $1.4 million, after modifying it to the flat nose, the truck, or the MOC in general, has a hard time, if not doesn't spawn at all, in your bunker. So that's one thing. The second thing I've discovered was your actual location of your personal vehicle when you bring your personal vehicle into your bunker, which is right over here. That is where everyone's bunker is located, like actual bunker location. Those are 2 things that I've discovered. And after recording that segment of 45 minutes worth of testing, after literally recording that, I only found out later when I made my weekly update content video that this was actually patched 10 hours prior, or like 1 in the afternoon, like 2 in the afternoon. So, counting in reality, which was about the time that I did these tests, I guess, maybe minutes beforehand. That's when this bug was quote-unquote fixed, but it wasn't really fixed, because I'll tell you something. So first of all, this was the news that I've seen all over Discord, where there's a major bug alert that could permanently delete your active vehicle, and everyone was saying everyone was saying that the bug with the MOC could permanently delete your active vehicle. That's what everyone was saying, either Gilly Master or TGG or the professional. Everyone was saying your personal vehicle will be deleted forever. But apparently when someone commented on one of these videos saying, oh, I mentioned Rockstar support, and they said your vehicle still exists, but blah blah blah, BS, because we're Rockstar support and we like to cover up our bullshit type of deal. During the newswire about reading about these quote-unquote fixes, look at the 3rd line. Apparently the second one saying that it fixed the bug where the MOC and the Avenger would go back to stock upon customizing, but the 3rd line said they fixed the bug where you lose the personal vehicle stored inside the MOC. That's not what we stated, Rockstar. And they also said it might disappear but will revert back to previous storage. That's not what we said, Rockstar. That is not at all what happened. It was just a cover-up for their BS, just to be like, they're just the players. They're gonna anyways buy our shark cards, so let's just make a cover-up. They're not honest! They're not honest! They weren't honest about it, and that's what triggers me. They weren't honest about it. What triggered me so much was that's the fact that they had a new bug in the GTA Online, which, by the way, I'm not done with these bugs. I still have other bugs to talk about in this DLC, but still, the fact that they weren't honest about it either, when we were all saying, everyone was saying the MOC customizing it with, you know, in your bunker, would, when you leave the bunker with your personal vehicle or not, your personal vehicle will be gone forever. That's what happened. It just vanished. Like beyond Thanos snap of the face of existence. But Rockstar had to cover it up because they knew what they were doing. They were like, we're gonna do these just to trigger their players, and let's make them believe that they have to rebuy the vehicle again until they realize they can't because we removed it from the website. So they have to wait for it the next time just to make sure that they can play our game again. But instead, because we brought it up as a community and backlashed beyond reasonable doubt, that's why Rockstar's like, we cannot admit this error, so let's just cover it up. Let's just cover it up. Let's just, you know, smudge some mud and bullshit all over it, just to be like, here you guys, we fixed it. But, you know, everyone was saying their own thing, but we're Rockstar, and no one has ever said that it would just be sent back to your personal storage or something. No one has even seen their vehicle ever again until they patched it. But now it's too late to see if it actually was true that Rockstar is saying, because they patched it. And the fact, and what even triggers me the most, okay, with all this bullshit that Rockstar is doing with this game, is the fact that this bug was fixed literally within hours, maybe even minutes of it first being brought up. Maybe because Rockstar was already aware of it, but at the same time, because it was being brought up by Ghillie Master, by The Professional, by TGG, by these major GTA Online, you know, YouTubers, I would say, because I wouldn't even say the veterans or whoever. Maybe they've been playing for a long time, not sure, but still. Because each and every one of them said the same thing, which was, your personal vehicle gets deleted forever, permanently. Rockstar said another news on their own, saying, but no one's ever said that your personal vehicle might just go back to storage, so let's just cover it up and use that as an excuse. It's the fact that they're completely bullshit with this DLC, the fact that they're completely bullshit with their bugs that happen, and they're bullshitting us, making us believe that, oh, we were all wrong this whole time. I'm not falling for it, Rockstar. I'm not falling for it. You guys aren't even honest. Since when was Rockstar even honest about any bug that happened in the game? When were they ever honest? They're not. They're taking advantage of us, thinking, oh, well, because it's fixed, now I guess I can buy shark cards again. Or, oh, well, my vehicles still don't reappear, so I guess I have to shark card the game just to get those vehicles back. Oh. The more I think about it, the more sick I'm getting. That's why all I'm gonna say is this. This whole bug was a complete setup for their bullshit to make us look like we were complete bullshitters. Including the main big boys of GTA Online, Ghillie Master, TGG, The Professional, every single one of them that I've at least seen, just to make them look like they were all bullshitting with this bug, which is on it, which now I'm saying it this way, but it honestly hurts me to say it that way, but I'm saying it as Rockstar's point of view, where we just looked at it like, hey, your personal vehicle gets deleted, but Rockstar literally told every single one of you guys, especially you three that I shouted out just the past few moments, that they said, you guys are complete bullshit. This is what actually happened. So you guys don't know anything about our game because we're Rockstar Games, and we care for our community. So how many shark cards do we sell in the past 24 hours, do you do? Yeah? That's all they care about. How much money they've been making. They care more about the money. They don't care about us. They don't care about you. They don't care about you or you as the player base, you as the community, or you as one of the biggest dogs of GTA Online on YouTube that anyone's ever seen in the history of GTA Online communities. Ever. Rockstar doesn't care. They just look at you all and look at you going like, huh, you guys are just pathetic scrubs. We know more than you. That is why, on top of all this, this is why this was patched within hours, like faster than any money glitch was ever patched in the history of GT Online. This was patched within like 2 hours at best. Because Rockstar knew what they were doing. They just wanted to make it look like it was our fault, that we're just making them look bad, just for them to patch it within seconds, just to be like, hey, it's fine, guys, it's fine, it's fixed. Well, I'm glad it's fixed, but the fact you threw bullshit at us before fixing it, upon fixing it, and then when it's fixed, you don't care about the game anymore. The fact that you threw bullshit at us in our faces, including those 3 guys that I mentioned many times in the past couple of minutes, including them. That's what triggers me the most about this bug. They knew what they were doing. That's what makes me sick. It's like they knew something was wrong with it, but they still went forward with it anyways, just to see our reaction about it. And because we finally started bringing it up all over the internet like wildfire could ever burn, that's when Rockstar was like, just do this and it'll be fine. And so they did it, and guess what? The bug is fixed. And that's what triggers me the most. When will Rockstar... Their bullshit is making me sick. I swear I'm dying at this moment. They threw so much BS at us. It's ridiculous. Let me get another angle of this truck. However, this is the best angle I could get out of it, so I can probably make a thumbnail that would not really look that pleasing, but still, at least it looks old, and whoever's gonna watch, great, but at the same time, the bug is fixed. But it's the fact that Rockstar threw BS in our faces, and told literally every single one of you, you guys are just making up excuses just to make us look bad, but here you go, it's fixed, now what more do you want from us, type of deal. That's what I feel right now. That is what I'm feeling right now. It's the fact that Rockstar completely threw BS in our faces and said, you guys don't know as much as we do, because we're Rockstar. We do care about you guys. We want you, I mean, we want you to have a good time in our game, and yeah, type of thing. I swear their BS is making me so sick. I would not be surprised I'll wake up in the middle of the night tonight, running up to the bathroom every 5 minutes, because of how sick I just got listening to their BS. They always do cover-ups. They're never honest. That's the thing. It's not possible. It's not possible to be so bullshit. It can't be. Anyways, that's as much as I'm gonna record about this bug, but I wanted to let you guys know it's fixed. Okay? At least that's what Rockstar claims. It's fixed. Even though they completely denied everyone's proof of how it got deleted permanently and made their own excuse just to say BS that no one has ever really looked deep into, which I probably could have if Rockstar wouldn't have patched it within 2 hours, because they knew if people like me would do research, like how long of research I've done for the past 50 minutes in this video alone, if Rockstar knew that I would have done research into it and would have I would have uncovered every single thing wrong about this bug, Rockstar would have looked so goddamn garbage, and then they would have probably made the sob story that we are putting them under pressure for releasing a DLC in June, and that's why so many bugs released. Anyways, I still have more bugs to make videos on, so this is as much as I'm gonna talk about. It's fixed. Rockstar bullshitted all of us, whether we like it or not, in one way or another, whether they made this bug to make us get aggravated to saying this game is terrible, just for them to fix it within minutes to prevent people like me from uncovering all the truth story about this bug that Rockstar purposely introduced into the game, knowing they could fix it within hours, probably minutes if they even did, just for them to be like, oh, well, it's fixed, so there's nothing you guys could complain about anymore, right? Yeah. Thanks for your bullshit, Rockstar, but still. I hope I explained as much as I possibly could about how I felt about when this bug was introduced to the point that it was fixed and beyond. Because honestly, Rockstar's not getting away with their BS. I'm going to put them down to the point that I'm going to expose the truth for them to break, finally, and be like, but you guys are still making us look like victims. Oh yeah, keep crying. Okay? That's what I'm going to say. Anyways, I hope you guys did stay tuned until the very end of this video, because I spent minutes worth of research uncovering as much as I could within this bit of recording that I have taken to show you guys that this bug was actually just instantly fixed within minutes because Rockstar knew what they were doing. They knew very well what they were doing. That's what makes me sick. They wouldn't patch things so fast. Just think about it. They wouldn't have patched things so damn fast. Until, like, everyone started complaining about it. Even the big guys of GTA Online's community started making videos on this. And Rockstar was like, shit, we have to patch this. Don't worry, I know what I was doing. I can just do this and fix it and then silent patch it. And then that's what they like doing, silent patch. That's why the games go into shit. Because the performance and maintenance is just out of existence with things like this. If you guys can patch things within 2 hours, it just shows two things. You guys do have the manpower to fix the game when you'd like to. But the fact that they fix things like this within 2 hours, if not less, if not sooner, it just proves that Rockstar's trying to make a scene out of everyone just for them to be like, walk right in while everyone's shooting each other in the throat, while they could just walk right in like one silent ant, unplug, replug, walk back out, and then everything's fixed for us to be like, oh, what the heck happened? They're so full of BS. It's ridiculous. I don't believe it. I don't believe this was actually a bug that was done accidentally at this point anymore. At this point in time. I don't believe it. It's not possible. Anyways, I hope I've explained everything I possibly needed to about this bug, but I'm just gonna let you know, I really cannot believe it. Okay? Thank you guys for watching, and I still have more bugs to talk about and cover for the San Andreas Mercenaries DLC. Alright? Thank you for watching. Seriously, Rockstar. Admit to your failures, please, Rockstar. And stop bullshitting all of us. Thank you. And thank you, viewers, for watching. See you on the next one.